You're listening to Happy Healthy Hormones with Dr. Chris. Are you tired of the short-term patch to your health problems? Is avoiding medications and surgeries important to you? If you answered yes, then your prayers have been answered. Dr. Chris has been helping people transform their health for over a decade. He's a world-renowned health expert who specializes in holistic health. He's a professional speaker, chiropractor, and international best-selling author. It's his mission to help you reach your full God-given potential through holistic health and healing. Get ready to be inspired and transformed. Here's your host, Dr. Chris.
Hello and welcome everyone. Today is the show where disease takes a dive and people come to thrive. And today I want to talk to you about something that is taken for granted a lot of times. It's something that we want more of, that we try to reorganize our lives to create more abundance of this in our lives. And what it comes down to is time. Time can be our best friend or it can be our biggest enemy. Just depends on how you want to manage that time. Now understand, life happens and you can't control every single second, every hour, every day of your life. And I don't recommend that you live that way because it can be very stressful. However, you do have to have purpose and planning in your life. And if you don't, you will start to notice that the things that you care the least about in your life will consume the majority of your time. And that, my friends, becomes a really miserable life. Because not only will that start to affect the things that you enjoy most in your life, it'll start to rob your passion and your energy. It will start to create disease in your body. And that will just start to fester and get out of control to where the fact is that more Americans today have more disease, more stress, more inflammation in their bodies simply because they don't take the time, the things they value the most, and put those things in an order of least to most importance, and then put the majority of their time and their focus and energy on those things that return the highest value in their lives. Think about it. Where do you spend the majority of your day right now? And are you getting the results that you really want to have in your life? I'm guilty of this myself. You know, there are things that I really want to accomplish, things that I want to do. And at the end of that month, 6 months, a year, I look back and I realize, wow, I haven't really accomplished what I thought I wanted to set out to do. Maybe I'd reached certain goals and hit certain things, but there were those things that I hadn't hit or hadn't accomplished. And when I look back at those things, it always comes back down to how much time and intentional focus that I put in those things. And I always have the best results in the things that I put the most focus in, and I create time. I carve time for those things that are most important to me. So I'm not telling you have to spend time at a certain thing or do a certain activity, but what I am telling you is if you want different results, if you want to have a better life, then you've got to start putting the emphasis on that activity, that purpose, that passion, so you can get the results you're looking for. So many people today just fly by night. They want to have something, they think they want it, they write it down, but they don't actually create a game plan. So I want to help you create a game plan today. What can you do to actually fill up your time with the things that are going to create the most value in your life? Most people go in their lives just starting to put, their calendar together, but they just fill it with everything. The things that aren't really that important to them. I mean, think about it. Going to the grocery store and picking up that extra laundry detergent, really not that big a deal. Not going to be a deal breaker in your life. Getting to that extra practice with whatever hobby you have might not be that big of a deal if you're really trying to do something like lose weight or if you're trying to build the relationships with your family. But what will happen is day after day, we start to fill up our day with the things that aren't really that important to us. It gets filled up with all the crud. So if we're not prioritizing our time will prioritize things for you. And that's not a very fun way to live. So what do? We got to start to look at what we call a warrior plan. Now, I do this for my patients. I give them examples of this, start to help them start to cultivate that. Because if you don't have time for your health, then what else are you going to make time for? Or you're going to take time for the low value things in your life. But if you want to lose weight, if you want to get off of that medication, if you want to get that energy back, if you want to get back to sleeping 8 hours a day, wouldn't that be nice? You've got to put in the habits and create the structure to get yourself there. It's not going to happen by chance. And if you're going to create new habits, you've got to fill your life with habits throughout your day, not just when it's convenient for you. I have people come up to me all the time and be like, Dr. Chris, I really want to lose more weight. Dr. Chris, I really want to get back in those jeans. Dr. Chris, I really want to, and fill in the blank. But what I oftentimes see is they don't take the time to actually coordinate their week to put in the big rocks in their life so that the things that they want to accomplish actually happen. So what do I mean by this? When I talk about a warrior plan, I'm talking about looking at your calendar. You can do this written out. You can do it on a computer, whatever you want to do. I like to do mine on like an Excel, and I do color coding because I just am more of a visual person that way. That way when I get off track, I can just look at it really quick. I put it around my desk, my office, on my refrigerator, where I get ready in the morning. I can just quick reference, okay, what should I really be focusing at this time of day right now? And not that I'm always perfect at it, and it's not that life doesn't come up and I have to deviate and call an audible, but it keeps me grounded, it keeps me focused, it keeps me coming back around to my values and what I'm really trying to accomplish. So what I do is I have you start from the day, the time you want to wake up in the morning to the time you want to go to bed, and you fill in everything in between. And when I mean everything, I don't mean every single minute, every single even half an hour, even an hour. But I'm saying put in your big rocks. What are the things you've got to get done to accomplish the things you want to? Maybe one of the first things you put in is work, right? You got to pay those bills. You got to keep going. I get it, until you get that financial freedom in your life. So put that in there. Maybe that's a 9 to 5. Okay, well, when do you work out? You want to lose the weight. You know you've got to work out. When do you do that? Fill that in there. Give yourself that 20-minute time slot, but just don't put 20 minutes. Give yourself some cushion around those things too, so you're not stressed and rushing between one thing to the other, because that extra stress that you can put in your life is not a great thing for you either, right? I think we've all been there. And so put that in there. Give yourself some cushion time. Maybe the other thing for you is you want to develop better relationships. So maybe you've got to schedule that time to have that date night with your wife. Schedule that playtime with your kids and be intentional about it. Maybe it's scheduling your appointments to get adjusted so you can keep your nervous system clear, or maybe it's to do your food prep so you can make sure you're not getting into McDonald's and the fast food throughout the week as well. Right, but it all comes down to just putting those big rocks in there. And then once you get those big rocks, and there's probably 3 to 5 big rocks in everyone's life, when you really look at it, analyze your life, figure out what's most important to you, then you can start to fill in with the little things. If you have time, you might not have that time for the little things. And guess what? Those little things, they'll get done when they get done. But those little things are not going to create the biggest value in your life. They're not going to create the biggest impact. They're not going to allow you to have the biggest vision and the biggest purpose in your life. But don't let time get away from you. It's so easy to procrastinate. One of the biggest thieves of our health is procrastination. Just the other day, I was out in my yard and I was looking up at our gutter, and it had actually started to come loose. Didn't do anything about it. It's like, hey, too busy. It'll be fine. A couple weeks later, we had a big windstorm. I come home from work, and our gutter is just hanging on by like just a couple threads. Like it is just going up and down like 8 feet from top to bottom. I thought it was just going to bust off right there. So I get up on my ladder, in the middle of this windstorm at night in the dark. It's freezing out there. I can barely breathe because the wind is just blowing in my face like 40, 50 mile an hour gusts. I get up there with my drill and just, boom, drill a couple of holes in there, put some screws in there, patch it, right? Looks pretty sturdy. It's like, you know what? It's good enough. It'll last until this spring. Well, a couple months go by. Just yesterday, I go up there. I was gone for a couple of days on a work trip, and I come back, and my wife's like, it was really windy over the weekend, and man, it sounded like the house was falling apart. She's like, it sounded like that gutter was loose again, but I didn't go out and check it, so you might want to look at it. I was like, all right. So I peek my head around the corner, go outside, look around on the door, and the gutter, nowhere to be seen. Gone. Like, all right. So I look, it had been torn off. The brackets are all in my yard. I go over the side of the hill, and there's the gutter. It is bent in half, totally destroyed. And now it's going to cost me more time, more money just to get that thing fixed because I didn't take the time. I procrastinated, and I didn't get what needed to be fixed now fixed. It's so easy to think that, I can keep going on another day, another week, another month, another year without addressing this problem in my life. And before you know it, time has different plans for you, and it makes a different decision for you whether you make one or not. So when it comes to your health, that could be cancer. That could be the difference between surgery or being on a chronic medication for the rest of your life. But it's your choice. Start to plan, start to save, start to make action in your life. Because right now, not only when you avoid the time thing in your life, when you don't put those things that are greatest value to you in the front of the line, you start to lose money. No question. You start to lose purpose. You will start to lose energy, but you will start to lose your health, and you will lose the most important things to you in your life. So, yeah, I just lost a gutter. It's replaceable. But if I had those same habits with my health, oh, you know what? I'm just going to work out and start losing that extra 10 pounds when it's a little more convenient this spring or next summer or this winter. Or, hey, you know what? I've got this chronic thing. It doesn't keep me from doing anything yet, but hey, I can keep going. I don't want to spend the money right now to take care of myself. Well, guess what? It's just a matter of time. So I don't want to see you get into that point. Start to take your time right now. Figure out what your greatest values are. Write them down on a piece of paper. Rank them in order of most important to least important. Try to get 10 on that piece of paper. What's most important to you? What do you value most in your life? Is it your health? Is it your family? Is it your kids? Is it being a parent? Is it your business? Is it your home? What is it? It doesn't matter. This is no judgment. You can be materialistic about it if you want. It doesn't matter. But once you get that, now you can figure out what you want to put your most energy in your life. And now you can really start to get laser focused. Now you can start to create that warrior plan. Put in those big rocks. The 3 to 5 biggest habits that you can create in your life today, this week, they're going to help you get to that goal. They're going to allow you to continue to achieve those values, maintain those values, continue to live a life of purpose, and stay on course so that your life is not wrecked, so that you don't look back 6 months from now, a year from now, a decade from now, wishing, wow, if only I would have done that one thing then, how much different my life would be today. Remember, your life needs no help healing, just no interference.
Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please help more people in reaching their fullest potential and rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. For show notes and other free resources we mentioned today, go to newedgewellness.com.